Whenever I want to have a graphic example of what God means when He says certain things, I go to the Old Testament. So, for example, if I want to really understand what God means when He says He will meet all my needs, I go to the story of how God fed the Israelites with manna from heaven. And of course, that encourages me that, okay, He can do it. And when God says He will fight my battles, I go to Hezekiah, one of the stories I go to understand how God fights the battles of His children. In 2 Kings 19, see, Hezekiah was the king of Judah. And the Assyrian king threatened to occupy Judah. And they were scared. The Assyrian king sent a letter to Hezekiah. And they were scared. Hezekiah took the letter to God, took it to the temple and prayed. He just showed the letter to God, look at what they are saying they are going to do towards your people. The next day, they woke up and everyone in the Syrian army had been killed. They just woke up and found them dead. And I'm like, okay. If that is not graphic enough for you of how God will fight your battles, then I don't know what else you want. For me, I have actually had my own personal examples of God fighting my battle. One of such, at work, I was trying to dispose of an asset located in on a riverine community. It was a place where really you wouldn't want to go by yourself ordinarily. And there were these boys from that area who were insisting that I sold the asset to them. And we were having a lot of back and forth over the telephone, and I kept telling them, I can't sell to you, no. And they said, well, we're not releasing your asset. And I tried to get the police involved. The police, couldn't do much. And it was a big problem for me. And I just tried all legal means, nothing was working. So I was praying, I started praying, trying to look for the way out of this. And so one day I was heading in that direction. And I just decided, okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to that community. Now, there's a regulator that is located in the community who we had been trying to involve to assist us get the assets. And the regulator just wasn't responding as we hoped. So I said, I'm going to go to the regulator's office. And I just drove in there and I went. And as I was going, I was like, I don't have any security. I don't have anything, God. But in my heart, I knew that God had gone ahead and closed the mouth of the lion. And so I would be fine. So I went. And I went into the regulator's office and started to engage them as to why they were not being helpful. And then next thing, they called all the boys. And the boys came to the regulator's office and trying to negotiate with me. And I sat down and I looked at all of them. And I just said, no, I'm not selling to you. I want my assets and I'm going to get my assets. And I turned to the regulator and I said, you will assist me to get my asset. That's your job. And if you don't, I will go higher. And whilst I was talking, and I was just looking at these boys. Why was I intimidated by these boys? Just looking at them. And I just put down my written request, insisted I was not negotiating with them, and got up and left. And then once I got out of the office, I ran to my car, literally. I just said, house, let's just leave this place. And not too long after, I got my assets on the terms that I wanted. And so God had gone ahead, closed the mouth of the lions, and fought this battle for me. Now, in your life, you must realize that everything you go through, every battle, be it health, be it relationship, be it financial, be it work-related, any battle you go through, is spiritual. It starts from the spirit realm. And when you try and just do so much about it with your physical power, you're just tiring yourself. You're just going to let it overwhelm you. All you need to do is to take it to God in prayer. Pray. And you would see that, like me, at the right time, God will tell you what to do. He will put it in your heart. You will just know that this is what I'm meant to do. Or, like Hezekiah, you won't even have to do a thing. And the issue will just be resolved. So I tell you, turn to God. Trust Him. He never lets anyone who trusts Him down. Trust Him that the battle is not yours. It is God's. You know why? Because if you call yourself a child of God, He has His name to protect. God has to protect His name and show up for you that you have said to everybody you are His child. So I pray that today you just find grace to hold on to God's word, that He will fight your battle for you, and victory is yours.